Okay, good evening, everybody. Hello, hello. We are recording. Okay, so for those of you, so I know quite a few of you, but for those of you that I don't know personally, my name is Tierney. I come to you tonight, not as so you'll see in my name, I am a licensed professional counselor, but I don't come to you tonight as a licensed professional counselor. I am not here with my clinical hat on tonight. I am here as a fellow oiler, a fellow friend, a cross line perhaps to you, maybe a mentor, maybe you are my personal enrolled in here or on my team. So I'm here to share with you a beautiful technique called Aroma Freedom that I had the pleasure of learning back in 2017. I was oiling a little bit and in my full-time private practice in mental health counseling and, doing yoga on the side and just sort of like embracing, whatever healing modality I could possibly get my hands on for myself and to help clients. And Heather McMahill introduced me to the psychologist Benjamin Perkus, who was just launching this brand new training, and I think he had launched it either in 2016 or right in 2017. So I was like the second cohort of people to join in his training, and he, just a little bit of background on where this comes from. The Aroma Freedom technique is born out of his mind. He is a trained psychologist. He had 20 years of clinical experience working with lots of different people, and he was also an avid oiler, of course, in Young Living, and he saw the need to integrate the therapeutic aspect of using essential oils with his clients. And so he had a background in energy psychology, emotional freedom techniques, somatic therapies, like I said, emotional energy psychology techniques, and he pulled it all together, pulled in the essential oils, and created Aroma Freedom technique. So it works on multiple levels, multiple bodies. We're working on the mental body, right? We're working on changing thought patterns and mindset. We're working on emotional release, which is very closely tied in with the physical body, because some of you may have heard this before, but we store a lot of our emotions in organs in the physical body. And then the really cool thing, which I love the most about Aroma Freedom technique, is that once we have a clearing of the mental, physical, and emotional bodies, so to speak, we get so freed up, our energy gets so cleared up in the body that it's what Dr. Perkus calls like having access to like downloads from on high. So whatever that might mean to you, if you have a spiritual practice, that might mean receiving guidance from your angels, from God, from ancestors, whatever that might mean. I've personally experienced it. It's kind of hard to put into words. So it's just something that you're going to have to, it's like proof is in the pudding kind of thing. And you're all here tonight. So if you've never had an AFT session before, maybe you'll experience it, maybe you won't. It's all good. There's no expectations here. So I guess what I can do is I can just jump into, at this point, I don't want to spend a ton of time talking about it. I do want to jump into it and be mindful of time. But we can talk a little bit about expectations, just so people are kind of like aware of what they might experience. You might have a very profound experience, like I said, and receive downloads and feel connected to a higher source. You might not. You might just feel totally fatigued and like, whoa, that was a lot. And physically, you might just be exhausted and need to hit the sack and sleep till 11 tomorrow. that happens. You might feel incredibly energized immediately after this and like want to tomorrow start tackling all your goals. That happens too. You might feel nothing at all. So if that is the case for you, again, there is no normal. There is, every single person here is coming with a different set of expectations, goals, their own set of history, their own set of whatever's been going on. So if nothing happens for you, this may not have been the right time to dig into this work. It might not be the right forum. So sometimes group work, especially virtually, just doesn't connect for people. And so if that's the case, but you're interested and you feel like you need more, you know, I'm free to stay afterwards and chat with people. I'll make sure to put my email here. So if people want to email me and learn about either private or semi-group private sessions, or even learning the technique for yourself, I can talk to you about that. Okay. So with all of that said, make sure you have your oils. You also probably want to grab some water. So I'm sipping on tea tonight. I'm not going to be doing the technique with you guys. I'll be guiding you, but you really want to hydrate. So this is energy work. So if any of you have had, you know, like Reiki work or other kinds of emotional release work done on you, you really, really want to hydrate the body to replenish, sort of like, I guess in a way, if you think about it, it's like we're detoxing our emotions. So you can think about it that way. So when we detox the physical body, like in the spring, when we cleanse, we need to hydrate to keep the liver and everything flushing. It's the same thing with this. So you got to make sure that you're really hydrated. So making sure that you go to bed tonight with lots of water. Okay. With all that said, I do think that we should jump in. We talked a little bit about expectations. Again, just want to be clear, I am not here to act in a diagnostic capacity or clinical capacity. I am just acting as your agent of manifestation. So you are here because either you have done this before with me or with another practitioner, or you've heard really good things about it, or you are just curious and somebody invited you here tonight and said, hey, I think you really need this. And so everybody that's here is here for a reason. And what we're here to do tonight is to fill the gap between your reality, where you are, and where you want to be. So where is the space between what's happening in your life and what your desires are, and why are we not there? So we all have goals and intentions and dreams. We all kind of know what those are, and maybe we don't, right? And so maybe part of tonight is getting clear on what that is. But this is a process of helping us bridge that gap so that we can start manifesting the things that are most important to us in our lives. So right away, we're gonna come right into it. And the very first thing that we want to do is, and I encourage everybody as we're getting started, if you don't have a pen and paper, it might be great to grab them. So you have your oils, you have your water. Make sure you're just in a comfortable place where you can have a pen and paper, because it might be helpful to write things down as we go through tonight's session. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get clear on why we're here. What is the goal or intention that you have for yourself? Why is it that you showed up to this session tonight? Now, this is really important. This is where we have to be very specific. So the goal that you're going to set for yourself has to be positive, present, and narrow. Positive, present, and narrow. So this would be something like, I am free of craving sugar. I've done a session on myself with that specific goal in mind. So Aroma Freedom works really well with cravings, and I'm not going to use clinical language, but strong attachments. Okay, so that could be a goal. It could be an interpersonal goal. I have a harmonious relationship with my spouse. See how it's positive, present, and now. You're speaking as if it's already happening. It could be a business-related goal or intention. Like if you're here in Young Living and you're here to level up, maybe it's I reach silver rank by September 1st. I don't know, but it has to be specific, right? So we want to keep things positive, present, and narrow. Relationship, health and wellness, business, any of these goals. So take a moment and really get clear. If you are having trouble getting clear on why it is that you're here, if you happen to have clarity, this is a great oil to grab. So you can grab this oil, take a little bit in your hands, rub your hands together. It's like a shot to the brain. The other thing you can do, for those of you that are struggling to get clear here, really quick, takes a minute. With your pen and paper, you can put a line down the center of the paper and do an attributes list for yourself. So on the left-hand column, negative attributes, on the right-hand column, positive. Jot down free flow, right? Free association, first couple words that come to your mind when you think about yourself, positive and negative attributes. And then what you would do from there is you would see if there was any correlation. So if one of your negative attributes was also balanced by a positive attribute, then maybe you would use that positive attribute to balance out the negative as part of your intention. Or you could circle a negative attribute that is not balanced out and draw a line into the positive, and what would the opposite of that negative attribute be that you would want to work on. So for example, I did a list once and I had the negative attribute that came up for me was unaware. And so I circled it and I pulled a line into my positive attribute, and I came up with the word mindful, because to me, mindful was the opposite of unaware. And so my affirmation or my intention for my session was, I am mindful of how people perceive me. So that would be an example. Okay, so just give me a thumbs up or type in yes if you have your goal or intention and you're ready to go. You could just put that in the chat thread just so I can see a few people, make sure that people are ready to move on. Heather's ready. Melissa's ready. I see some thumbs up. A few people giving me the thumbs up. Laura's ready. Kim's ready. And we'll just take a moment or two here. We really want to make sure this is important to set a strong foundation. So just making sure that everybody feels really clear and is understanding of this important first step. We're setting our goal or our intention for the evening. Positive, present, and narrow. I am. I have. I can. One of the other things you want to be mindful of, so just notice if you take a look at what you've written down, you want to be careful not to have comparative words in there. So if you see the word more or less, I want you to fix it. I want you to take out the comparative nature of it and just have it be as if it's already happening, right? So you'll notice I didn't say in my example, I am more mindful of how people perceive me. It's I am mindful of how people perceive me. You just want to be careful of that too. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of people are giving me the thumbs up. People are ready. Okay, so at this point, you have your goal or your intention, and now what you want to do is you want to rate it. So we take a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being I have zero confidence that I am ready to manifest whatever this intention is. 10 meaning I'm there, I don't even need to be here, I'm cruising, I'm manifesting, right? So you want to now kind of hone in, read your affirmation or your intention, say it out loud, and kind of see what comes up. 0 to 10. Where do you fall? How likely is it that this is going to happen for you? This is rating your confidence in what your desire is. And you really want to be honest about this, right? So some of us might be at a 1 or 2, and some of us might be at a 7 or 8. If you are at an 8 or above, what I want to say to you is, if you're feeling really, really that confident, 8 or above is pretty confident, then you need to refine your goal or intention to make it feel a little bit more pressing. So it needs to scare you a little bit so that we're not starting out so confident, right? There has to be room to move. So if you're at an 8 or above, I encourage you to put a deadline on it, make it more specific, make it tighter, make it feel a little more uncomfortable. Okay, everybody, put your rating in the chat. Let me know that you're ready to move on. Put your number, your rating in the chat. Okay, Heather's at a 4. Good room to move. Good. 4, 5, 3, 6. Good. Yep. Good. Lots of room to move, guys. This is great. Okay. So now, this is where we really get into it. This is where it gets really fun. So you want to make sure that you are in a comfortable place, okay? And it's really best to do this with the eyes closed, okay? Because we're going to move in and we're going to start to talk with the mental body. And sometimes if the eyes are open, the senses draw out and we can't really tune in. So I invite you to close the eyes now. And I want you to listen in for objections, okay? So you're going to say the goal or the intention in your head, and I want you to notice now what negative voice inside is telling you that this can't happen. So common negative thoughts might include, you're stupid, you have no idea what you're doing, you've tried before and failed, okay? So you're listening in for the first one, the loudest one. Trust that it is the one that is meant to come forward. Don't argue with it. Don't object to it. Just hear it. Just notice it. Okay, now I want you to go a little further and start to identify how you feel when you hear that negative voice inside your head. So now we're moving into a feeling. So don't get caught up in analyzing. or fighting with the voice, I just want you to notice what you feel in one word. Examples of feelings, simple feelings: sad, frustrated, angry. Keep it simple. Notice if there's another person, okay? I feel like he or she doesn't love me is not a feeling, that's a judgment. So again, stay with the feeling. And now drop into the body and notice where you feel this feeling in your body. Stay with it. Stay tuned in. This might come up as a sensation or a tension or a prickliness somewhere in the body. It might even show up as an entire posture, right? The way that we carry ourselves. Whatever you notice, this is awareness that will help you anchor into the feeling so that we can transform it. So just become aware of the feeling and where it is in the body. Okay, now we're going to time travel a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to drift back to an earlier time when you felt a similar way. It could be as recently as yesterday, or it could be a memory from your childhood. So trust that as you drift and soften your mind, you let yourself travel to where you need to go. We're finding a snapshot or a movie of a memory reel. The first one that comes up is the right one, even if it's not clear or it doesn't seem to make sense. If there are a few memories that are popping up related to the feeling, you can again picture this in movie form. So the scenes rolling by. If there are no images or memories, stay focused on the sensation in your body. It's all good. Okay. So now what I want you to do now, staying with the memory as best you can. You're going to have to open your eyes because you're going to need to grab your oils now, but stay inside yourself, okay? Grab your frankincense, your stress away, and your lavender. Take 1 drop of each oil, place it in the left palm. You'll rub the right palm into the left palm. Cup the hands over your face. And now with the eyes closed, focusing on the snapshot, the memory complex that you just drifted to, the feeling in the body, the negative thought, all of it. Breathe deeply. You're breathing as if you're sending those oxygenating compounds of those oils, because you are, right into the limbic brain, the part of the brain that holds the memory complex, the part of the brain that regulates the emotional body, that regulates emotion, sensation, and that links together the thought with the experience. And you're going to breathe here and you're going to stay as long as you need to notice changes occurring. Some people, if you're new to this, or if you're working on something deeply rooted, you could be here up to a few minutes. Okay? So allow feelings to pass through you. Breathing and remembering feelings are like waves, so nothing is going to last forever here. Just having enough openness to see what happens to the images and the feelings in the body. Maybe the images start to recede or get fuzzy. Or maybe you notice the feeling in the body dissolving. If the mind suddenly shifts or thinks to an unrelated memory, just allow that process to occur, trusting that you'll know when the shift is complete. We're finding an edge here, so take yourself to your edge. Some of you may have already reached that point. You'll kind of know. Okay? And if you've come out, I want you to revisit your goal or intention. Those of you that are still working, stay to work. Stay to notice, stay to be with all the shifting and transforming that's happening. And just so I have an idea, since we're on group here and I can't see everybody, when you've come out, give me a thumbs up. Or if you're on your screen, let me know. I want to make sure I'm not moving too fast. A few of you are done. Okay, so at this point, we're going to re-rate. We're going to come back and reassess the original goal or intention. So some of you might have it written down. Some of you might have said it out loud. I want you to say it out loud, read it, experience it. And from this new place on the other side of round one, re-rate 0 to 10. How likely does it feel that this is going to happen? How possible does this feel now? For some of you, you might have hit something, right, that makes you feel a little less confident about it, right, a disruptive memory or something, and so the rating might go down. For others of you, you might have had a boost in confidence, the rating goes up. It's perfectly fine, it's all good. Put your new rating in the chat thread. Somebody had some clarity, new rating. Okay, some people are, oh, you know what? I should have said, write your original rating. Sorry, everybody. So write original rating dash and then your new rating so that I can see. Yeah. So Heather, 4 to 6. Okay. Sorry about that. I should have said that. 3 to 3. So some people are staying even, right? Some people are moving up. Some people are going down. Yep. Good. Good. Okay. All good. No normal, right? Everybody has their own experience with this. Good. Okay. So each round, right? We're probably going to go through 2 more rounds. So we'll probably do 3 rounds tonight, is going to reveal a new memory complex and is going to give us a new opportunity to move something. Okay. And a lot of times, like I said, things that are unexpected come up. Okay. So if you didn't move up, don't feel badly about it. It's all good. Okay. So round 2, we're going to go back in and we're going to do everything again, starting with noticing the thought. So close the eyes. And listen in for those objections. Notice what the negative voice inside is telling you about why this can't happen. This is the critic. Notice the tone of this voice. And now move to identify the feeling. How do you feel when you hear this negative voice inside? One word, stick to one primary feeling. It's the dominant one. It's the one that you can feel in your body. That's how you know it's the truth. Regret, fear, anger, guilt. Go a little deeper. Notice where you feel this negative feeling in your body. Head, chest, belly, a slouched posture, tension in your jaw. Where is it manifesting physically? Become aware of the feeling and where you feel it. Okay, now we're going to time travel. Go ahead and drift back to an earlier time when you felt a similar way. Find that snapshot or that movie of that memory complex. Don't search for the right memory, just allow it to unravel and reveal itself. as best you can, staying focused on the memory, the snapshot, the feeling, the thought, all of it. Open your eyes just enough to grab your inner child. If you don't have inner child and you're working from the starter kit, peace and calming will work. Take a drop in your left palm. Rub the palms together. Cup the hands over the face. Deep, deep breaths. So the breath combined with the oxygenating properties of the oils is doing literal magic on your limbic brain. It's disrupting the memory complex, stimulating new feelings. And because two different feelings, the feeling of peace, cannot occupy the same space and the same body as hate or sadness or grief or whatever it is you're feeling, the memory complex dissolves. Stay to notice that shifting, that dissolving. That transformation on the level of thinking, noticing the thoughts. Noticing what's happening on the level of emotion and body. Ride the wave. Stay as long as you need to reach your edge. You might even notice new beliefs emerging. Getting those downloads or finding the light breaking through the memory. Creative ideas, solutions to problems. The body softening. Maybe the old memory doesn't even bother you anymore. And if you're still feeling stuck in a slightly different way, you've just shifted from one energy to another, and that's all good. Energy doesn't die, it just transforms. So stay to breathe. And taking about 1 more minute. For those of you still working, keep breathing deep in the breath, ride the wave. Allow yourself to go there. Allow yourself to be transformed. Allow the oils and the breath to work together in tandem. This is a deeply profound experience. For those of you that have come out of round 2, you can go ahead, get a head start by revisiting your intention and re-rating the goal 0 to 10 based on how likely it seems that it will manifest now after the second round. Making sure to have 2 dashes now so we can see the progress from the original intention round 1, and now round 2. So example would be 4, 6, 5, 3, 5, 6, something like that. Good. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So we have some people going down, some people going steadily up. Uh-huh. Some people hovering, right? For those of you that are going down, again, it's perfectly fine. In fact, we usually like to say at this point, congratulations. If you've gone down after 2 rounds, it means you're hitting more deeply a rooted issue that needs to be addressed, right? Because it feels worse the deeper we go in towards the original stressful or traumatic experience or whatever it is that we're working through. So just know that there's transformation on the other side, but you might need an additional round or 2, or maybe a private session or another consultation or deeper work, maybe in therapy or another healing modality. So just know that this is all just part of the recipe. Okay, good. So we have lots of different people going up and down and hovering around. So we're going to do one more round. Okay, so 3 rounds, and usually we don't go above, we usually maybe do 4 rounds, but for this group tonight, to keep to time, we're gonna do 3. We're gonna end at 3, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So we're gonna go in one more time. So for this, you're gonna wanna just a heads up, have your release ready. If you don't have release, just have frankincense or forgiveness, okay? And then go ahead, close the eyes. We'll go in one more time. Listen in for the objection, listen in for the negative voice. Different variation of maybe the same thing you've heard. At this point, it might be louder for some of you as we tap in. For some of you that are working and moving up, it might be a little bit more distant. It might be hard to find. Could be a little more subtle, but just as insidious. So just notice what that thought is, the objection, the critic. Tune in now to identify the feeling, the primary feeling. What do you feel when you hear this thought? For those of you that have been struggling or struggle at any point to find the feeling or locate it or identify it, you can go into the body first and you'll always find it that way. So sensation and emotion are intricately linked, and sometimes the language we have is only through sensation. So go into the body and label it through the tension. Where's the discomfort in the body? And so you have the thought, identify the feeling, and notice where it's manifesting in the body. And now go back and drift to an earlier time when you felt this way. Watch the snapshot or the movie across your mental screen. Pick up the details, the images. Get familiar with it. If there's no image, focus on the sensation. Notice what you notice. Stay with the details. With as little effort as you can muster here to stay with the experience, open the eyes, grab your release or your forgiveness or frankincense if you're working with the starter kit. Put a drop is all you need. A little goes a long way here. It only takes a matter of seconds, minutes for the transformation through inhalation to occur here. Breathe deep, ride the wave of breath. You've been here a few times before, so you know your process now. Breathe deep and stay till you feel a shift. Notice what's dissolving and disintegrating. And see if through that dissolving there's an opening. An invitation to something new. New perspectives, new feelings, new beliefs, maybe even new memories. Challenging the original experience. If you've ridden your wave to completion, come out to revisit your original goal or intention one last time. You still need a few moments. Move through your process. There's no rush. Your own timeline here. Jotting down notes or impressions is a nice thing to do. And for those of you that are ready, you can go ahead and put your final rating in the chat thread. Yeah, so if the body is aching, that's a great question. It's part of noticing, right? That's probably part of noticing where you've been holding, right? The memory complex. So when the amygdala, the limbic brain can't, its job is to emotionally process things that happen in our lives, difficult things. And when it can't do its job for whatever reason and process, it suppresses emotion, it gets filtered down into the body. And that's why we say parts of the body, organ systems, tissues hold or store memories or emotions. And so you're detoxing, right? The aching or the feeling of discomfort in the body is oftentimes it's a good thing, even though it's uncomfortable. Okay, so everybody's putting their ratings in. We see some people, Heather, wow, moving up 4. Jessica, you were hovering, you went up and down, up and down. hovering around 5 and 6, right? So a little bit more digging, right, needs to happen there. Tony, same thing, but you went up. You went up too, which is great. There was some movement there. Yeah, Laura's asking about tension moving. Yeah, we have some people going from 7 to 8, from a 3 to a 5. If it's moving, as I said earlier, energy doesn't die, nothing dies, emotions don't die, they just transform. So I talk about this sometimes when I do larger, more intense workshops, but like the energy of sadness, when you're not sad anymore, it's not like the sadness just died. It just probably transformed into something else. So a lot of times when we grieve, on the other side of grief is gratitude, right? We feel so deeply grateful for having lived through that experience and learned that lesson, or, lived through that loss and survived. So energy, it just shifts, and it happens in the body too. If tension's moving in the body, it's just all energy. It's moving, but moving is good. What we don't want is stagnation. So we take that as a win, Laura. Okay. So at this point, you all did brilliant. Again, there was no right or wrong here. We're gonna complete tonight with the final portion of this technique, which is the affirmation, and then the power posture to set everything in. So this is where you're gonna grab your believe, your transformation. You can also use magnify your purpose. I forgot to say that. If you have that one, a lot of people like that one. It's really, we're talking about like the really uplifting oils that Gary created to help anchor into a new positive mindset. And so even if you kind of hovered around the same level, or you didn't move up as much as you wanted to, again, this is all about moving energy and putting our attention where we want to be. So you might just need to work a little bit more. And maybe tonight was just about getting clear and not necessarily moving 4 points up, but just getting clear on what it is that you need to start to do the work on. And so maybe that's more, sessions like this, and you can reach out to me, or it's work in another way. But at this point, we really want to just be accountable to holding the intention or affirmation, so that we can, wherever we're going to go from here, we're going to be, we're going to honor it for ourselves, that we're going to stick to what we desire. So this is where you're going to grab one of those 3 oils. If you're working with the starter kit, lemon, peppermint, and frankincense, that blend together is just really awesome and energizing, has all of what we're looking for. So you can just take a drop of each. Otherwise, grab your believe, transformation, or magnify your purpose. And what you're going to do now is take a couple drops in your hand, and then you're going to come up with, again, a positive, present, and narrow affirmation statement. It could be the same exact statement as your goal. So it doesn't need to necessarily change, but sometimes what happens through the process, through these rounds, is that we got the light, or we got the download, we had a new creative solution or idea come to us, and it feels really empowering, and we want to use what came to us. So it could either be the original goal or intention, positive, present, and narrow, or it could have transformed into something new with new language. But you're going to take that statement, right? Use your oil, and then you're going to assume a posture in your body that that sort of reflects what the statement or the affirmation is. And so usually we want this to be, this should feel strong, solid, and powerful in your body. A lot of times it's just as simple as just standing in a mountain pose, just really strong and rooted. You guys can't see me, but just standing right here, chin up, heart open. If part of your goal or intention was something around more nurturing or loving yourself in a relational way, sometimes people will hug themselves or take a child's pose. There's really no right or wrong, but at this point, you're going to take your power pose, take your oil, take your affirmation, and for 2 minutes, I'm going to time you guys. For 2 minutes, we're going to root into this new belief system, pairing the breath with the posture and the smell. Okay, 2 minutes on the clock. And the reason we do this for 2 minutes is because it's been studied that it takes 2 minutes for this integration to happen. You can repeatedly say your affirmation out loud, altering with a breath and then repeating it, or you can mentally loop it inside your head. There's no right or wrong, just as long as you're moving through the process of selling, repeating the loop, and holding the posture. You guys look beautiful. About 1 more minute. About 20 more seconds, couple more rounds. You guys look great. And complete. So congratulations to all of you. You've completed an Aroma Freedom session. You should be super, super grateful for yourselves for showing up for yourself in this way and investing in your detoxing and your mindset shifting. At this point, this is a recommended prescription. So at this point, to really, really anchor in the work that you did tonight, I always recommend that you continue using your final affirmation with your uplifting oil. So whether that was Believe, Transformation, Magnify, or just a frankincense or an oil that you love, 2 minutes twice a day for 3 days. So you can write this down, 2 minutes twice a day for 3 days. So it's best to do it right in the morning when the mind is fresh and impressionable, and right at night after the day before you go into dreamland to integrate all that, right? So today would be, technically you would do, tomorrow would be day 2, and then you would do morning and evening, and then the next day would be day 3, morning and evening. So you would have 3 days, and then what you might notice is that sometimes the affirmation wants to shift through that process. Words want to slightly change. And so you can work gently with that and allow that to happen. So you don't want to ever be like rigid and hold yourself to something that doesn't feel right anymore. So if the affirmation wants to change, that's fine. If a new one comes in through the process, that's fine too. You just don't want to work with too much. So having it all can keep you really busy. So you never want to work with more than 3 affirmations at one time. So 1 or 2 is okay, but never more than 3. And the last thing I'll say is if it feels relevant for some people at this point, sometimes people feel really encouraged and motivated to take action, right? Especially if they've moved through a couple different rounds and they've gone up and they're feeling really motivated. You can take action and write down a couple of action steps that you know need to happen to help you anchor in to whatever it is that you set for yourself tonight. And the best way to do that is to write that down. And then when you do your morning, your 2 minutes in the morning, you can tackle your goals right after that when you're feeling energized. But that's just optional, not necessary. So It's 9:06. We started a few minutes late, so we're just at the hour mark. Class is complete. You're free to go if you want to drink lots of water and have a beautiful night. I'm going to put my email in the chat here if you want to email me to follow up with anything. I will stay for a few minutes if you guys want to chat and have questions. Feel free, we can process.
Tierney, this was incredible. I wanted to say thank you so much. I'm so grateful for this experience. You are the best. I've had other AFTs, but you are by far boom, you're like the queen of AFT. And so I'm just so thankful. I also want to say because this is part of your business / practice, with what you do, if anybody here feels interested in giving a testimonial for her, I think you would appreciate that, correct? If we can email you or.
Thank you, Heather. Yes, I forgot to. That would be great. That would be great.
So can I put your email in the chat group for you?
Yep, I just put it in there. Yeah, thank you guys. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they want to process? No pressure. Sometimes it feels good to just be with yourself or journal, but sometimes people like to be part of a group. So either way, no worries.
Very powerful, Tierney. Thank you.
I saw a question from Ipshita. It said, what oil can we use to release? And I didn't catch the last word. Ipshita, are you still here? If you want to unmute or if you want to type it again, it looks like ACG. I don't know if that's.
Oh, the pain. I was feeling a lot of pain in one area. So I was wondering if there's something, it was hurting. So I was wondering if I can use something. So I've got a lot of clarity today. It was amazing. I would not have connected the two. And the funny thing is I was talking about this just 10 minutes ago with my husband saying, I don't know what's happening. So this was amazing. A gift, true gift. Thank you, Tierney.
Oh, you're so welcome.